BDW says, what was it like working with John Cena, Eddie Guerrero, and Rey Mysterio back in the Ruthless Aggression era? Some great stars there, man. What was it like working with those guys?
Well, I had incredible programs with all three of them. In particular, Rey Mysterio. Ray was my favorite to work with back then. He was so easy to work with because he was smaller. He moved around. All you had to do is catch him. And he would do all the stunts for you. And I really enjoyed wrestling with Ray. Eddie Guerrero, one of the best of all time. I mean, even Eddie in WWE. I don't know if a lot of people realize this, but Eddie broke his leg and his hip when he was in WCW. And when he came back, he was never the same. Even though he was better than everybody else still, he was never the same as he was in WCW. And it slowed him down just a little bit, but he still is the best of all time because that's how good he was. And I would have loved to wrestle Eddie before he broke his leg. I think don't get me wrong, I loved Eddie afterward. He was he was absolutely one of my favorites to ever work with. And but John Cena, I love working with John too. I got to wrestle him when he was a little green, and I don't want to take responsibility for him getting better and better, but the company kind of glued him to me when he first started, and him and I would wrestle each other at the house shows for about 6 months. It was ridiculous. It was like we were stuck to each other's hips, and he was getting better and better. And I knew he was going to be a big star. I knew, he is, I consider him the greatest WWE superstar of all time because he's won 16 WWE titles, world titles. No one else has done that. And, so John, I really enjoyed working with him as well.
No, and I think you should give yourself the credit because you were the primary guy they had working with him in his in his formative years, should I say, early on in the company. So, and what better guy to be attached to than your Olympic hero, Kurt Angle?
Thank
I
you,
mean,
Paul.
come on.
You're so nice.
No, listen, I got to tell you this, and I don't want your head to, I want it to continue to fit in the car, but I'm flying home from Orlando the other night from an event, and I'm literally sitting there. This guy's next to me. He has no idea who I am. Who cares who I am? I'm sitting there and I look over and what is he on the phone watching? WrestleMania 19, Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels on his phone.
Oh, nice. It's WrestleMania 21.
What's that?
WrestleMania 21.
Yeah, 21. Sorry. I'm thinking 19 because that's Lesnar and you.
Yeah.
So, but it's you and him. And because and I'm like, oh, Kurt Angle fan. And I was like, you should go check out the Kurt Angle show on YouTube.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, everywhere. And he just starts talking about you and talking about that match and just how good and how big of a John Cena fan he was in that time period, watching you guys back in these days, the Ruthless Aggression. And it's just still people watching your matches, man. It's incredible.
It's really cool to have an impact like that, and people that still watch the matches even till today. It's a great feeling to know that people are still doing that.